On June 4th, 2012, I died.
At that moment, I had a live baby.
Hey guys, it's definitely starting to pick up the energy around here.
Getting the boat prepared for the main catch of the day, oysters. But with boat troubles, oystermen Matt Hodges and Clark Nichols say it can be tough just getting out in the water.
It's all in a day's work.
And once in it, finding oysters in these troubled waters, still recovering from the Gulf oil spill 3 years ago, even more difficult.
We had a great supply. That was the year I established my oyster business.
Now that supply is drying out, the problem: oystermen are now prohibited from fishing in the Skipper Bay because of polluted water. So Hodges has to travel more than 100 miles to Apalachicola Bay every day.
We got out there, and by 3 o'clock, we had 2.5 bags of oysters on the boat. And that equals negative $20 for that day.
But after adding up the cost to buy the oysters on top of the gas money, this catch comes up empty. Now, these oysters are the bread and butter for families in Wakulla County, but sadly, all they can do is toss them back in the water.
I feel like I'm not only going to fail my family, I'm going to fail these other oystermen.
This bay is their livelihood. And if they don't work in this bay, they can't go different places and look for jobs because there are no jobs.
Nichols and Hodges say the solution?
What we ask now is to get a help where we can move these oysters out of closed waters and put them where they can be harvested within 30 days at the most.
Wakulla County commissioners say they're behind these oystermen 100% and are hoping BP funding will be released soon to help the hundreds of families.
We have been forgotten.
Now struggling.
Putting my neck, my family on the line in hopes that somebody's going to come down here and bail us out.
Just trying to stay afloat. Brittany Jones, WTXL, ABC 27, dedicated to you.
Maybe something's wrong here.
She was so healthy.
It was a shock.
She's one of my best friends.
On June 4th, 2012, I died.
That's the day Lisa Cox suffered from cardiac arrest during a regular evening job.
Beautiful day.
Lucky for her, her friend was nearby.
My friend doing CPR saved my life. I wouldn't have survived if she hadn't done that.
They immediately rushed Cox to the hospital. Doctors told her that low potassium levels and blocked arteries had stopped her heart, and her family was shocked.
A lot of people with heart complications may have, maybe overweight or, unhealthy, and she's none of that.
I am a triathlete.
She had been a runner for nearly 30 years and said her great health made her blind to the possibility of having heart issues. But not getting regular checkups and understanding the impact of her family's health history could have been a death sentence for her.
And my father's had a quadruple bypass, but, he was heavy most of his life, so it was easy to, not pay attention to those things, given that I was doing all the other things right, but that was probably a big mistake.
This triathlete feels that she was extremely lucky.
There are a large percentage of people who do actually get to the hospital but don't leave the hospital with cardiac arrest.
And now she's working toward legislation to support CPR training in schools.
But I can never, ever repay.
The mother of two doesn't want anyone to go through what she did, so she feels that she has to do her part.
Thankfully, we, should all learn CPR so that we're prepared if somebody does need us to help their heart beat until someone can get there to help them.
With a second chance at life, Cox says that no trophy
Those are all of my awards.
or medal is more important than being in the life of her kids.
I want to be here as long as I can for my children. That's the most important thing, and that's, that comes first.
Though her life is different from 6 months ago, she's getting back to running, swimming, and biking. She says that now she sees life with more optimism and humor.
Well, I had a friend tell me, they said, when you get stressed out, you just have to remember, there's not much more anybody can do to you. You've already died once, so there's not much more someone can do to you.
pizzas. That's what we are.
This is going to taste a lot better.
Grazie. That's Italian for thank you. Been in the business for 40 years, been on every aspect of the game.
Even as busy as he's always been around.
My son is a good kid, a good man. He's also been in the restaurants for quite a period of time. He's always loved it. I told him, you know, it's about time for you to go ahead and have your one then.
Doing a little spin.
This is really his dream, his baby right now, to take it and run.
He's really important. Just being that figure I've seen over the 25 years that I've been alive, it's just been really impressive.
He also has a childhood friend.
Work hard, but party harder.
I have basically two sons actually working here.
Well, I've known Chris since preschool. All right. We both manage the restaurant. Together, we make a pretty strong team, I think.
We made it clear. He calls me Fred. He doesn't call me Dad.
If I call him Dad here, it puts him in the father mindset. Fred is business.
We'll bump. We'll get into it.
You know, it gets a little hairy.
Sometimes we have to walk away.
It stresses them both out.
But we never stay away too long. I think he probably gets the wild side from his mother, so that's the Italian side, and then he gets the more mellow and sweet side from me, which I don't think anybody will agree with.
The sacrifices, though, man. I mean, every Sunday we used to sit around the table, have a nice family dinner. We're not able to necessarily do that anymore, being that either myself has to be here on any given day or my father.
Family is the only reason why any of us live sometimes, is for the family, because when you're up, you've got all kind of friends. When you're down, you have family.
And that's our Marguerite.
I want him to be able to continue on with this, and who knows, it might be the next franchise out there. Never know.
It's an early morning at Alligator Point.
That's all in that. Well, between those two boxes.
Greg Matthews, Chris Officer, and their four-legged friend,
her name's Chewy,
are already soaking up the early morning sun. But there's no umbrellas, no beach towels, just their walking shoes and this device.
They call us trekkers. This is the trekker.
Greg and Chris are among two-person teams hired by Google and Visit Florida to map out more than 800 miles of Florida's beaches. And they do that by wearing this 40-pound backpack. It's got a 15 camera snapping photos every 2.5 seconds. Eventually, just like Google Maps Street View feature, you'll be able to virtually walk on a Florida beach from anywhere in the world. But getting the photos from the beach to your computer takes a lot of work.
It can get a little hot.
And a lot of walking.
That's to help prevent and protect the blisters that are there.
But Greg and Chris have to keep up a pace of traveling more than 10 miles a day.
You got to take care of your body, you know, and make sure, you know, you're hydrated.
Some of the landlords on the beach hope Google's Beach View will bring in more tenants.
It's a great idea for people. We get people from Texas, Georgia, Illinois, I mean, all over the country come here. And for someone to be able to see it on Google Maps, I mean, that's what I would do if I was renting a place.
But for Matthew, it's the scenery that is breathtaking.
It's worth getting to the most remote spots you can get to. There's rewards there that are intangible and really not explainable. One of those you have to experience it kind of things.
Greg and Chris have 3 more weeks of snapping pics of Florida beaches and helping to create what Google calls the best map of the world. I'm Anthony Murdoch, WTXL ABC 27, dedicated to you.